Namaste everyone. Today we are going to discuss the summary of the irrigation, and it is one of the subject in the paper 1 of the agriculture optional, and from the UPSC these are the basic syllabus we have. Every year always we can expect minimum 2 questions in the case of the irrigations here, right? So irrigation, it means it is a more of the artificial application of the water is going to take place to the root zone of the crop plant for the better crop growth and development can be possible. And as for the economic survey, today we are having the 48.2% of the cultural command area which comes under the irrigations we have in the country, and major sources for the irrigation like we are having the some are the canal irrigation, some are the borewell irrigation, some are the tank irrigation, some are the lift irrigation. These are the major sources we have. According to that, there is irrigation availability can be possible for the agriculture purpose here, right? When we are having the irrigation at the right time of the critical period, right, so that increased crop production in the agriculture can be possible. That's mean here as we said that we are having the 4 major sources we called as one is the canal irrigation, another is the borewell irrigations, another is the tank irrigation, another is the lift irrigations here, right? So these are the major sources we have in the case of the irrigation. As for the economic survey, in the case of the North Indian region, we're having the more potential. From the canal irrigation, followed by the borewell irrigation, followed by the tank irrigation, followed by the lift irrigations. You have to remember, even in the case of the prelims also, we can expect the one observation questions here. In the North India, we are having the more potential from the canal irrigation, followed by the borewell irrigation, followed by the tank and lift irrigation. But the case of the Southern India, right, there we are having the more potential from the borewell irrigation, followed by the canal irrigation, followed by the tank irrigation, followed by the lift irrigation. Because in the North India, most of the rivers are perennial in nature. That is the reason throughout the year there is a water availability can be possible. But in the Southern India, most of the rivers are the seasonal in nature. That is the reason. So most of the farmers are depending on the groundwater for accessing the irrigation water for cultivating the crops in the southern regions here, right? So these are the 4 major sources of the irrigations we have in generally in the case of the irrigations here, right? So again, from the UPSC, as we said that these are the basic syllabus we have in the case of the irrigation. One is that we are having the water use efficiency in relation to the crop productions here, right? So efficiency mean, in the simple word we can say, it is the ratio of the output. That divided by input, right? I'm repeating once again. Efficiency, it means it is the ratio of the output divided by input here. That's mean for every unit of the water input, how much output, how much biomass we have produced in the given area can be called as efficiency. So in the case of the water use efficiency, it is the ratio of the yield divided by the total water requirement. So the water requirement for the given crop in the given area can be called as water use efficiency. For every unit of the water, how much yield we have produced can be called as water use efficiency, we say, right? So within the water use efficiency, right? So we are having the 2 type of the water use efficiency can be possible. One is the crop water use efficiency, another is the field water use efficiency. These are the 2 efficiency we have, right? So in order to increase the water use efficiency, in the case of the dryland agriculture, there are the various agronomic practices. Available to improve the water use efficiency in the case of the dryland agriculture. That means we are having the what we call as drip irrigation. In the case of the drip irrigation, about 80 to 90% of the water use efficiency can be possible in the case of the drip irrigation, and it is one of the technique in the case of the micro irrigation. In the case of the drip irrigation, our basic objective is to place the water directly in the roots of the crop plant it is, so that improved productivity can be possible. Another is the fertigation. In the case of the fertigation, we are applying the fertilizer along with the irrigation water. In that cases also there is a more use efficiency can be possible. Then with the help of the cultivation of the cover crops, like legumes. In the case of the legume, there is a lesser evaporation rate can be possible. Through that, there is increased efficiency in the agriculture can be possible. Another one, application of the compost. When there is application of the compost, right, in that case there is a sedimentation of the soil particle is very less. Then we are having the agroforestry the layout system. Whenever if you cultivate the agriculture crops along with the forest species, in that cases we can able to minimize the evapotranspiration. We can able to minimize the evapotranspiration in the given ecosystem. It is. Then we are having the intercropping system. In the intercropping, we are having two crops. One is the main crop, another is the component crop here, right? So in the intercropping, the farmer is cultivating the more than two crops with the different row proportion. With the different row proportion, we are taking the more than two crops in the given piece of the land can be called as intercropping. This means with the help of this technique, we can able to increase the water use efficiency in the case of the dryland agriculture here, right? See, always we can expect one question in the case of the water use efficiency. It is a part of the irrigations here. Efficiency mean per every unit of the water, how much output you have produced in the given area can be called as water use efficiency. So with the help of these technological practices, efficiency can be increasable in the case of the dryland agriculture here. Then apart from that, then we are having the another syllabus we called as criteria for scheduling the irrigation. See, scheduling the irrigation means it is a more of the scientific approach. It is a more of the scientific approach. Then you will be scheduling the irrigation according to the various criteria. According to the various criteria we called as, one is the critical crop growth period. The crop growth period. Another is the soil factors. Another is the soil factors. Another is the meteorological approach. Another is the meteorological approach. The meteorological approach. See, with the help of these three criteria, scheduling of the irrigation is going to take place so that increased crop production can be possible. For example, in the case of the soil factors, we are having the criteria we called as the touch and feel method. We are having the criteria we called as the touch and feel method. Touch and the feel method. So whenever if you touch the soil, we can feel the moisture. We can feel the moisture in the given soil particle. According to that, scheduling the irrigation is going to take place, right? So these are the three criteria are taken in scheduling the irrigation. So according to the scheduled irrigation, there is a more production and growth and development in the given crop can be possible. Then apart from that, we are having the third syllabus we called as the ways and means for reducing the runoff losses of the irrigation water here, right? So runoff losses means it is a more of the sedimentation. It is a more of the sedimentation of the soil particle. Sedimentation of the soil particle by the means of the water movement. By the means of the water movement, there is a washing of the soil particle can be possible from the one region into the another region. So in order to minimize the sedimentation or runoff losses in the given agriculture, there are the various kind of the agronomic practices, various kind of the mechanical and engineering practices are collectively used to minimize the sedimentation of the soil particle in the agriculture. Then we are having the syllabus we called as the rainwater harvesting, right? So rainwater harvesting means it is a more of the trapping of the rainwater, with the help of the some structure and methods. With the help of the some structure and method, there is a trapping of the rainwater is going to take place. For example, we are having the root water harvesting structure. Then we are having the farm ponds. With the help of the farm pond also, we can able to harvest the rainwaters here. Then apart from that, we are having the syllabus we called as the drip, sprinkler irrigation and micro irrigation. See, we are having the syllabus we called as micro irrigation. In the micro irrigation, with the low pressure and flow, there is irrigation is going to take place. Within the micro irrigation, we are having the four type of the micro irrigations. One is the drip irrigation, another is the sprinkler irrigation, another is the bumbler irrigation, another is the fogging irrigation. I'm repeating one second. Within the micro irrigation, again we are having the four type of the micro irrigation. One is the drip irrigation, another is the sprinkler irrigation, another is the fogging irrigation, another is the bumbler irrigation. These are the four type of the irrigations we have in the things here. So in these cases, with the low pressure and flow, there is irrigation is going to takes place in the case of the micro irrigation, so that increased water use efficiency in the given crop can be possible. Then apart from that, we are having the syllabus of the drainage of the waterlogged soil. See, we can expect always one question in the case of the waterlogged soil. So waterlogged means, look, it is a more of the flooded water. It is a more of the the flooded water for the much of the time over the surface of the soil particle. Flooded water for the much of the time over the surface of the soil particle. Whenever you are having the stagnated water in the given area over the period, right, anaerobic condition in the root zone can be possible. Anaerobic condition in the root zone can be possible. When there is anaerobic condition over the period, there is the wilting and rotting of the cropland can be possible. Wilting and rotting of the cropland can be possibilities. That is the one impact we have from the waterlogged condition in the case of the plant ecosystem. When there is a stagnated water, it is having the impact on both soil ecosystem as well as in the plant ecosystems here, right? Then we are having the syllabus we called as quality or suitability of the irrigation water. So both the terms are same, quality or suitability of the irrigation water. So quality of the irrigation water can be judged from the four basic criteria, right? Criteria matlab one is the sodium absorption ratio. Sodium absorption ratio according to the SAR method. According to the SAR, we are having the class 1, class 2, class 3, class 4 type of the water can be possible. Then based on the boron concentration, again we are having the different type of the class of the water, irrigation water can be possible. Then we are having the AC value. Then based on the pH, and there is a total soluble solids. Total solid soluble salt. Based on this criteria, there is a classification of the irrigation water can be possible. So these are the various criteria we have taken in classifying the irrigation water here. Then apart from that, we are having the effects of the industrial effluent. Effects of the industrial effluent. So effluent matlab it is a inflow of the solid waste. It is the inflow of the solid waste from the industrial area into the agriculture field can be called as industrial effluent waste. When there is a inflow of the solid waste from the industrial area into the agriculture field, there is a contamination of the soil can be possible. So in order to minimize the inflow of the such solid waste, right, again from the center and state government, we are having the some kind of the environmental provision like Environmental Protection Act 1986, then creation of the buffer zone across the river bed. With the help of these policies, we can able to minimize the soil pollution and agro pollution in the given region can be possible. Then apart from that, we are having the syllabus we called as important irrigation projects in India, right? Even in the 2024 May, they asked it for the 10 marks here. So irrigation projects matlab within the irrigation projects, some are the interstate irrigation projects, some are the multi-state and multi-purpose irrigation projects can be possible. So based on the cultural command area, right, irrigation project can be divided into the three category. One is that major irrigation projects, another is a medium irrigation project, another is a minor irrigation project. So based on this irrigation project, we are giving the irrigation water availability to the farmers so that crop cultivation throughout the year can be possible. So these are the basic syllabus we have in the case of the irrigation. See, every year in the case of the paper 1, always we can expect minimum 2 questions always will be there. So in order to improve the kind of the irrigation facilities in the rural area, we are having the issue, programs we called as Pradhana Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana. In that cases, for every drop of the water, more crop we are promoting in the given region cities. Okay, so always we can expect minimum 2 questions in the case of the irrigation, and it is one of the subject in the paper 1 of the agriculture optional. So these are the basic summary we have in the case of the irrigations here, right? Thank you.